Good morning, everyone. It is just about 6:06. We welcome you in. It is a Wednesday, December 10th, just 14 days until Christmas. Finally saw some sunshine yesterday. That was beautiful in the afternoon. Should be sunny skies again today. We'll get up to about 58. Thursday, sunny, high of 50. Sunny on Friday, 61. And Saturday looks nice, too. Then we'll cool back down on Sunday. So we've got some nice weather over the next few days. Not really much of a chance of any rain. That is great news. Get out and enjoy it. You're listening to Dixon and Vining. I'm Valerie Vining. He's Richard Dixon, and we're glad you're with us on Talk 99.5, talk995.com.
If you were to go just a little bit north this weekend, you'd run into the polar vortex.
No, thank you.
Yeah, that
That's
thing
why
is
we're not going north.
It's just not going to make it here. That's why they originally thought we were going to be in like the 40s, and then they backed off of that because they said, it's not going to make it down this low. But Huntsville, oh yeah.
No, thank you.
All of Tennessee, all of Kentucky, yikes. You guys are going to
We
be
got
in
we got
deep
almost
freeze,
perfect golfing weather. I was thinking about getting out and playing golf Saturday. I was like, 60. Well, yesterday it was 65. Today they backed it off to 62. That's still very doable.
I envy you that you have the time to play golf
Well, I
at
don't
this time
really.
of year.
It's just a want. It's a wish.
Oh, I see.
It's a little bit of a need.
Okay.
But,
Yeah.
I've got a lot on my plate as well, Richard.
Oh, yeah. Time of year will generally bury you under joyous caroling and Christmas fun. Parent Structural Services is here for you if your foundation begins to slide off of its mountings. Here's the thing. It doesn't matter what time of year it is. You really can't wait. When you have a problem with the foundation, you got to get in touch with these guys immediately, 668-2626. Have them come by and give you the once-over. Because the longer it goes, the more damage there is to your home. It starts off with a foundation crack, and you go, okay, let's get that fixed. If you don't get it fixed, then it turns into wall cracks, and then it turns into plumbing problems, and then it turns into a leaking roof and windows and doors that are broken or don't open or close properly. It just becomes more and more expensive as you go along. That's why you got to get it taken care of right off the bat. Parrot Structural Services, parrotss.com, 668-2626, or online, parrotss.com, right? They're licensed, they're bonded, they're insured, they're E-Verify compliant. Give them a call today.
Well, huge news for our state from a well-known pharmaceutical company that will bring revenue and lots of jobs for our state. Eli Lilly plans to invest more than $6 billion in a new GLP-1 manufacturing facility that will be built in Huntsville, Alabama. The company is going to bring about 450 high-value jobs that include engineers, you got scientists you're going to need, operations personnel, and lab techs. Construction is expected to begin next year, and that alone will generate about 3,000 construction jobs as the state-of-the-art facility is built. Completion of the facility, well, that's a little further down the road, and we were maybe hoping it would get done sooner, but 2032 is how long that it's going to take to build this facility. It kind of gives you some idea of the complexity of it and the size of it. Here's another reason it's a big deal for our state. The Greenbrier South Huntsville site was selected from more than 300 applications. The close proximity to the Hudson Alpha Institute of Biotechnology helped Eli Lilly to make the decision to come to Alabama. Earlier this year, Lilly announced plans to bolster its domestic medication or medicine production across therapeutic areas. They have plans to build sites in Texas, also Virginia, and expand a site that they have in Puerto Rico. So they are really moving and spending some money because they see that these GLP-1 drugs taking off.
Yeah, that, and there's a couple of other new drugs that are really beginning to make some headway here. Some of them having to do with Alzheimer's and dementia. Making new developments all the time here. And that's good news for those of us who struggle with such things. Weight, dementia, Alzheimer's. I have all three.
Well, and, some people do, you're not in a boat by yourself.
Right.
So, but how exciting is that? That's a major deal. And congratulations to Huntsville. I was, wondering what city it was when they announced that it was Alabama, and you're like, oh, this is great.
Yeah.
This is great.
It's almost always Huntsville.
Yeah. A former UAB football player accused of stabbing two fellow players has been granted a request from the Jefferson County judge to moved to Florida
What?
while awaiting his court date.
What?
Over the state's objection, Judge William Bell Jr. approved the motion request from 20-year-old Daniel Mincy. Mincy wants to live with his grandmother in Pompano Beach, Florida, which is originally where he was living. Mincy is charged with attempted murder and first-degree assault in the November 23rd stabbing of Joshua Underwood and Josiah Peterson. Those two, if you remember, were stabbed just hours before the Blazers football game at a breakfast. The two stabbed, and Mincy was initially held on a $90,000 bond but released last week under court-approved conditions. His preliminary hearing is coming up on January 8th before Judge Bell. What's everybody think about this?
You got a room full of witnesses there. There's not really a question about whether or not this guy did it. And it's amazing to me that you would allow somebody to leave the state under these circumstances. But then I saw the name of the judge, William Bell Jr. Oh, okay.
Yep.
All right, I see how things are.
Sounds a little familiar. This is a little bit of a problem, and I don't know. We don't have all the facts and don't maybe have the same information that this judge has, but we do know that when the stabbing occurred, this guy did not flee. He was there. He was there when police arrived. So I don't know what's going on there and why there's maybe this leniency, but I think that if you attempted to kill two people, one of them in the hospital for quite some time, that maybe you just stay in jail until January the 8th.
Yeah, I thought the $90,000 bail was a little on the low side.
Yeah,
I was like, really?
I did too.
Two attempted murders and less than $100,000? Okay.
What's going on here?
Yeah.
So I don't know. Maybe the judge has a little more information. There's more to this case than they have let out yet, but that just seems a little odd looking at the facts that we do have and that he's going to release them. President Trump's approval rating has edged up this past week. Some believe that it is the handling of the cost of living issue. He now stands at a 41% approval, up from 38% last month.
Oh, boy, look at him go.
He started his second term with a 47% rating. Trump has been scaling back some of his tariff increases and pledging to try and combat high food prices, said that he wants to put a task force together to see just exactly what the issue is. He spoke last night and even talked further about how he's working to try to bring down these prices, and hopefully he can accomplish that goal because, I think all of us have felt the pinch, especially when we go to the grocery store, that things are, a little inflated and they haven't really come down. And you and I have talked about it, Richard. Is it a case of, some of these companies taking advantage of that situation and they're leaving them inflated where they don't need to be inflated? I don't know, but things do seem incredibly high.
Yeah, but this is sort of the political equivalent of pushing your food around on your plate to make it look like you're eating something. There's very little that can be done at this point unless there is price gouging. And for there to be price gouging, you would have to believe that there's an awful lot of companies that are all in it together,
Yeah.
Because green beans are higher and fresh produce is higher and meat prices are higher and dairy prices are higher. Did all of these organizations get together and go, here's what we're going to do. We're going to stick it to the American people. I think it's just the cost of doing business went up. It went up 9% under Joe Biden. Inflation was 9%, 9.2% at one point. And that doesn't, the number goes up and it stays there. We haven't had deflation. In fact, we still have more inflation. We have 2.6, 2.3%, depending on which month you're looking at, since then. So the numbers are going to keep going up. But by talking about it, by pointing out, by pointing out things aren't as bad, that things are not still going up, you really are able to afford what it is you need. You're doing better under Donald Trump than you were under Joe Biden. What he's really doing is he's going out and saying to everybody, guys, it's not as bad as you think it is. Look around. You're doing better than you think. And by addressing it pretty consistently, I think this is why you're going to see his approval rating go up a little bit. It does not help that you have CNN and ABC News both this morning. I hear them say Donald Trump is blaming the Democrats for the increase in prices. I'm like, you're acting like he's just saying that and it's not true. Joe Biden was in office when we had 9.2% inflation, which was the highest inflation in 40 years. It's not like he's blaming the Democrats. The Democrats were responsible. They spent $6 trillion during COVID, and we didn't have that money. You can't throw that much money into an economy and expect that there's not going to be inflation. That's how the economy works. So it is frustrating when the news media is doing everything they can. Oh, this guy is. He said affordability was a hoax.
Well, and again, it's a big cleanup of what happened under the Biden administration. I mean, a lot of that was what Joe Biden did or didn't do
Yeah.
that put us kind of in this situation. And the first year of President Trump's administration, and he's doing cleanup right now. He's doing, hey, we're trying to bring things back to center before we can see if we can maybe drop some stuff and make things better for the average American.
It is
and that takes time.
It's just extremely rare that prices go back down again. What you want is for your income and your overall wealth to rise to meet the moment. That's what you're really looking for. And that happened in the 1980s under Ronald Reagan. It happened again under George W. Bush after we had a bit of a recession. And it's going to have to happen again. It's going to have to happen in a really big way because, again, highest inflation in 40 years. Yikes. Work Trucks is downtown at 2324 3rd Avenue South. They're fighting inflation with every fiber of their being. That is why they are going out and finding these great trucks at great low prices, bringing them in, putting them through a 125-point inspection, and then putting them on the lot at great low prices. Look, they take out the dents, they take out the dings, they paint them white, they get them ready for your logo. They make sure that everything is on the up and up. If they need new tires, they put new tires on. If they need new glass, they put new glass on. Whatever it needs to be fixed under the hood, they fix it. They bring it up to speed. These things are like new, but they're not new. They've been around the block a time or two. Some so new they still have factory warranties on them, but they are used, and that's how they can sell them for as little as they are selling them for. Check out the entire inventory online at WorkTrucks with an X, LLC.com, WorkTrucksLLC.com, or you find them in person, 2324 3rd Avenue South, right across the street from their service center there, Work Trucks, where they are all about trucks.
Talk 99.5, talk995.com. It's 621. We welcome you in. It's the Dixon and Vining Show. So glad you're with us. We're going to have a beautiful day today. Sunny skies, 58 the high. It was nice yesterday. I just said, thank you, Lord, for the sunshine. Because we've been through 6 days or so of just gloom. It's just been gloomy. So finally, we're going to get some nice weather. You folks on 65, we're looking at our monitors. I'm so sorry. 65 northbound, just right around the Alabaster area. They've been doing some construction. And we just heard from Phil, there's like a 26-minute delay. It's backed up all the way to the Shelby County Airport. That's 65 northbound. And again, the backup past the Shelby County Airport, and it takes you all the way to Alabaster before you really get out of it. But hopefully that clears up here pretty soon because, the real traffic begins 7 o'clock or so. So chop. Let's get a way for people to get through there this morning.
Chip, people, let's go.
Yep. Hey, Birmingham Broker, went right past their business yesterday. The huge bay was wide open. I know Craig and Keith are super busy taking care of folks just like all of us and our listeners as well. Many of you have turned to Craig and Keith when it's time to sell your used car because I found out when talking with Craig, everybody wants to know, hey, if I'm getting ready to sell my car, what's the car worth? What's the value of the car? Well, it's getting a little trickier because used car values are really high. And part of that is because new car values are sky high. So people are kind of hanging onto their cars. But then when they want to sell them, they're like, hey, I've got a lot of money in this. I want to hang on to as much of it as I possibly can. I did my homework before I turned my car over to Craig and Keith. And we sat down. It was like a 10-minute conversation. And he's like, all right, Val, here's what we think. We've looked at your vehicle, and these are the miles on it, and you've taken pretty good care of the car. We think we can get this, and my eyes about bugged out. It was about $2,000 more than what I thought, and they got it. They actually got that, and they sold it really quick, too. So if you're really considering, hey, I need a different truck, maybe a larger truck, maybe you're in an SUV and you want something a little smaller because you don't have the kids to haul around anymore, turn to these guys. It's the best way to sell your car. Birmingham Broker, 2224 4th Avenue South, BHAMBroker.com.
Alrighty, 624, Dixon and Vining. Mayor Robert Kraft, he is the mayor of Gulf Shores, sort of dropped a little bombshell on a city council meeting the other day, at the end of a regular city council meeting. Oh, by the way, we're not going to have a Hangout Festival this year. It's like,
at the very end of it, he just kind of threw that in there.
Hold on, what now?
That's a big deal to,
Yeah.
Usually you may have one meeting, and this is the announcement. It's that big that you hold it and tell everyone, hey, we're not going to do the Hangout Festival. But he tried to slide it under the rug at the end of the meeting, and everybody was headed out the door. Oh, no. Yeah. Everybody was like, what? So.
Yeah. It's a little like, when you go visit your parents and your mom says, listen, real quick, before you leave.
We're going to get a divorce.
Could you paint the house? Could I what?
Yeah, really.
Could I what now? Hold on a second. Anyway, the Hangout Music Festival not taking place in 26. We are already approving the event in 2027. And he says, and this is where we begin to sort of see what's going on here. They liked the crowd that they got at the Sand in My Boots Festival. A more affluent and better behaved crowd, to be sure. And they said they didn't like any of the acts that were being floated for 26. They said, essentially, I don't want any of those old acts back again because apparently they draw the wrong element. And it's too late for you to go out and try to dig up some new acts. So we're just not going to do it this year. And in 26, that is. And start working on 27 and see if you can do something more like Sand in My Boots, which was all country and was all upscale and had a lot of affluent people that showed up and dropped money, and they were good and didn't destroy things and were not problematic, and there weren't fights, and basically what you're looking for out of a good old-fashioned family concert. And that was, so it's a little bit of code talking here because, of course, what's been at the Hangout Festival a lot over the years has been R&B acts and rap acts. Nelly was there, 50 Cent was there at one point. They've had quite a few hip hop acts and things of that nature, and consequently, they said, oh, that's not the element that we're trying to attract any longer.
Yeah, and the 2025 Morgan Wallen and the Sand in My Boots, they sold out 100,000 tickets. Now, it's not just the concert, right? It's all the other things that go with it.
Sure.
That there's hotels, Airbnbs, there's restaurants that all these people go to. Are you tipping your waiters and waitresses? Are you taking care of the hotel and the Airbnb that you're staying in? I mean, again, all the little shops that are down there, people are buying this or that, the grocery store, the Walmart, the whatever. So something went terribly wrong the year before that they didn't like it, and they really saw a different atmosphere with the Sand in My Boots concert.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really what it is. It's a, can you behave? Can you come down here and, spend your money wisely, have a good time, do what you need to do, take care of things, not act
Don't be
all
jerks.
crazy.
Yeah.
And they tried to say it in a way that, hey, we're going to move forward and try to put more acts together that, like Morgan Wallen and Sand in My Boots brought to Gulf Shores for the Hangout Festival. And I can't say I blame them.
Well,
you don't want things torn up, and you don't want there to be shootings or anything like that. You want everybody to come down there and know that they're going to have a great time. It's going to be safe, no worries. And for the most part, that's what they got with the 2025 concert.
For those of you that are still having trouble grasping this, let me just draw this parallel for you. Oak Mountain, back when they had the lawn seating, remember that?
Loved the lawn seating, yes.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun. But some people didn't know how to act in the lawn.
There were two acts that you could be assured there were going to be fist fights. And sometimes they would team up and show up together. That was Hank Williams Jr. and Leonard Skinner.
Mm-hmm.
When they came, you knew that the lawn was going to be
There was going to be a fight.
bloodied.
There was going to be
for sure.
lots of consuming of alcoholic beverages, and then a fight would break out.
On the other hand, Oak Mountain loved it when Jimmy Buffett came because he sold a lot of tickets and his crowd is mellow,
Uh-huh.
mostly high.
Yeah.
But
a
they're
little-
laid back. They're not going to do anything.
What are you
They're
saying?
not causing problems.
Skinner fans and Hank fans need to smoke a little more dope. Is that what you're saying, Richard?
Well, I mean,
Lay off the beer?
That's really the difference between alcohol and weed, right?
It is. It's
there
true.
was a great stand-up comic who talked about how weed doesn't make you violent. Weed doesn't make you commit a crime. I'm not going to smoke weed and steal your purse unless there's a sandwich in there.
No, and it'll give you that throw-up thing. What were we talking about yesterday?
Oh, no,
The
scromiting.
scromiting,
Yeah, scromiting. We don't want that
Be careful of
either.
the scromiting.
Don't scrum it at the Hangout Festival. You would not like it.
I think you guys
Yikes.
know what we're talking about here.
Yeah, I think you're on top of it.
And then,
We'll,
and the mayor's trying to say it in such a way, too.
yeah, right.
Careful. You don't
It's
wanna-
code talking. We all know what you're trying to say there, Mr. Mayor. We appreciate your position that you're in, but yeah, okay. How about we come back and talk? Oh my gosh, Bessemer, their DA is going to be taking over where Aaliyah left off.
Aaliyah said, we ain't doing this. Here,
What?
Birmingham,
That
take
is
your
a-
video and
Mm-hmm.
good luck.
Uh-huh. This is a strange turn of events. A little Clint Black.
Listen to that harmonica.
Nice.
It's very nice.
635 Talk 99.5 Talk 99.5.com. It is Dixon and Vining with you on this rather chilly Wednesday morning, but it's going to end up warming up as the day wears on, up to about 58 today. Not too shabby. A lot of guys had a very happy 2025 because of the Alabama Men's Clinic, because they took my advice. They went and they found out about the low T situation. And it is a game changer, man. When you have low T and you are draggy and you are just barely able to get yourself out of bed in the morning and move along, and you say, oh, boy, what's going on with me? Is this just my life from now on? The answer is no. You might be struggling with low T, and one simple visit to the Alabama Men's Clinic can find out for sure. They'll test you, $99 for your initial consultation. By the time that's over, you'll have an answer and a number, and you'll know where you stand, and they'll talk to you about how you can get your testosterone level back up again. If you're struggling with ED, you're probably missing out on a lot of fun. You probably need to see somebody about that as well. The Alabama Men's Clinic, ready to go, ready to lend a hand there. It's time to get your life back. It's time to get it all back on track and make 2026 your year. The Alabama Men's Clinic can help with that. The low T, the ED, the hair loss, the weight loss, they do it all, and all for men. Hence, right there in the name, alabamamensclinic.com, alabamamensclinic.com, or call, make an appointment today, 598-7000, 598-7000, the telephone number. Sean says R&B and hip-hop acts bring the wrong culture. Also, that culture doesn't have a lot of money to spend at all the other restaurants. I don't know that that's true.
Yeah, I don't know what the issue is, and some of it is, and I've told you that experience about going down to Panama City during spring break.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I can't do this again because people weren't acting right. I mean, cars were going by, convertibles with, you might as well have been naked. I'm serious. Some of it, and this
and
was.
what weekend was this?
This
again?
was.
I mean,
it's fine for you guys, but when you have an 8-year-old kid with you, you're like, I've really misjudged this. I had no idea it was this bad down here. If you start, there's certain behaviors that are acceptable. Again, you've got to think about restaurants and hotels and everything else that goes on, not just the concert. You got to have people, acting right during a concert because y'all are packed in there like sardines, and there's thousands of you. They sold 40,000 tickets.
Yep.
Imagine if you have a group of people in there that just decides they're going to act crazy, and do things that,
A crowd of 40,000 people, unruly, could get out of hand pretty quickly.
That could get really bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, conversely, by the way, speaking of the Hangout Festival here, imagine all of the businesses that have been counting on that for years now.
Yeah.
And they're saying, oh, yeah, well, that one weekend in May when that happens, we always, it's like Christmas. Mm-hmm. And they were just told Christmas ain't coming this year.
Do you think that the mayor may change his mind, that if there's a group of people that said, look, we know we have 5 months to put this thing together. We can do it. We'd like to put it on.
I'd be shocked if they could. It's a huge undertaking.
It is a huge undertaking, but it's an awful lot of lost revenue for that.
It is.
For Gulf Shores
Absolutely.
And surrounding areas.
Like I said, it's like canceling Christmas, man.
Gee.
It's going to be rough. There's going to be a lot of people that are like, oh, I was going to use that money to pay for X or Y or Z, and now you're not getting that money. Okay. Thanks for nothing. Sean says prices are high let's try this again. High prices are because after COVID, people weren't coming back to work for basic wages, and these companies started paying up. We pay for that down the road, and here we are. Every time people wanted the federal minimum wage, this is the result we told people would happen if wages went up significantly. Yes and no, Sean. It's a spiral, really. People wanted more money. They insisted on more money because stuff cost more. And they said, I can't go to work for your minimum wage any longer. If you're just going to pay me $8.25, and I look at the prices at the grocery store, that's not going to do it for me. You're going to have to pay me more. And for a long time, businesses held out, and they said, well, we're not paying anymore. And then they had a dearth of employees, and they're like, okay, I guess we'll pay more. And they started hiring people and paying them more money to get them to work, because that's what it took to get folks to show up and actually do the job. And once those, wages went up, then obviously, of course, the prices went up too. And that is the wage price spiral in a nutshell. It also goes the other way, by the way, deflation and wages going down. It doesn't happen as often, but it can go the other way as well. So be careful about that. But yeah, it's a combination of things. But really, the number one thing that happened here is Trump did the first $2 trillion. Okay, let's be fair. Trump did the first $2 trillion in terms of bailout money. And then Joe Biden came in with the Inflation Reduction Act and the COVID Relief Act and whatever, and dumped another $4 trillion, all in the course of about 2.5 years. So with $6 trillion in about 2.5 years, you cannot inject that money into an economy and expect that there's not going to be inflation. It's a lot of money chasing too few goods and services. And I don't know another way to explain it to you, because I think basic economics are no longer taught in high school, and it's sad, but there it is.
Well, and I think, too, Richard, some of this, even though now we're almost 5 years down the road from COVID really screwed some things up. And then on top of that, you have the Biden administration, who wasn't doing the numbers were fake. If you go back to when we were looking at some of those statistics, it was like, no, and then they would come back 6 months later and say, "Oh yeah, that's right. Those numbers,
Right.
they were way low, but they were much higher than where they should have been." All of that, we never got really a clear picture until Donald Trump won, and it's been the last 9-10 months that we're starting to really figure out who really screwed things up,
yeah.
and it's really been the Biden administration. And again, some of that was COVID. Trump had some of that during his administration. Biden had that. So, with all of that said, we've got a lot of different factors here that are playing into the numbers with why the economy is where it's at, why food prices are so high. And Trump said it last night. I watched some of this Pennsylvania rally that he held, and he was talking about the midterm elections, and all the signs were lower prices, bigger paychecks. Okay, well, that's going to take a little bit of time. You can't snap your finger and make that happen.
Nope.
You've got to give this all some time. And he's got another 3 years and a month?
Something like that.
2 months? I don't know
Around
where we're
that.
at with it.
As of December 20th, he'll have 3 years and 1 month to go. So hang in there, kids.
Yep,
More likely the bigger paycheck than the lower prices. That's just the way things work. The investigation into the Birmingham police shooting death of 26-year-old Jamal Williams now being led by the Jefferson County Bessemer Cutoff District Attorney's Office. This after Aaliyah got a little peeved when Birmingham's police chief said, "Oh, you want the video? Here, take a look at the video." And they said, "We're in the middle of an investigation here. Don't be releasing the video. We have to look at this stuff. This is going to affect our investigation. Outside forces come in. And what do you think you're doing?" And so they said, "You know what? Never mind. Here's all your stuff back." And the Birmingham police were like, well, what? No,
Yeah, that's part of the agreement between whatever department, Birmingham, you pick anyone, Homewood, had the same situation. When you have a police officer involved shooting and a death involved there, the thing they always do is turn it over to Aaliyah. That's a separate investigation that takes Homewood out of it or Birmingham out of it. Let these guys do their due diligence. They know exactly what they're doing. Give them time, 4, 6, 8 weeks, whatever it takes. And then they come back with all the results of the investigation. Was the officer correct in that shooting? Is there a problem there? Is it going to be going? Do we need to go to court with it? But I think part of what's going on with the Birmingham issue is that there was possibly some pressure on Chief Michael Pickett and others within the Birmingham Police Department to release this video, because why else would they do that? Only we didn't really hear about that.
No.
But since then, now you've got all these organizations coming out going, we need more transparency within the Birmingham Police Department and these police officer involved shootings, and we need more social workers, and we need no, we don't. No, we don't. What we don't need is people walking around in certain parts of Birmingham with a gun in their hand, waving it around, pushing women to the ground. Police get on scene. He's still got the gun in his hand.
Sounds like you may have seen the video.
Yeah,
bit,
I did. I watched the whole thing, and it was long.
Yeah.
They didn't release all of it because there was a lot of walking around at night with the street lights on. So they tried to edit it down a little bit so you could see there was like 3 or 4 different points in the video that were important for people to see. But why did they release it before Aaliyah got through with their investigation.
I don't know.
That's their deal. They say, don't release any video, don't do anything. Let us do our investigation. When we're through, then you can talk. Then you can release your video.
Because otherwise you
that.
get these outside forces that come in and begin putting pressure on people, including those who are involved in the investigation, and it can color the testimony of witnesses who may have been there, seen what happened. Now suddenly they've got a video, and I've changed my story now. It's I can get away with this story or that story or whatever. No, you have to keep that stuff under wraps. This is why you always hear the words, we don't comment on ongoing investigations. It's a good idea. Look, the investigation has a finite amount of time, unless it's the Jeffrey Epstein investigation. That goes on forever. But yeah, the investigations have a finite amount of time, and when they're done, you can say everything you need to, but the investigation has to take place, and it has to be separate from the police department that was involved in the shooting. You can't have the Birmingham police investigate their own people, because you can't trust that they're going to be, 100% honest and above board.
Yeah, and whether you can trust them or not, that's not the right thing to do.
No.
You to be transparent, that means you turn the investigation over to another party, and that's usually Aaliyah, but they screwed that up and by releasing that video. And now people are clamoring that, hey, there's a problem, and this is, there's too many police-involved shootings.
Oopsie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so we got the Bessemer Cutoff DA who is going to be doing this
investigating
investigation.
Yep.
And we'll see how that turns out, but I'm glad that at least somebody is looking into it. Alabama Tree Pros at 308-4158 can take that tree down to the ground, under the ground, or just trim it up for you, whatever the situation may be. Maybe it's already on the ground. Maybe it fell over, and you're like, okay, what am I supposed to do now? You call 308-4158. They come out. They chop it up for you. They throw it into the back of a really big dump truck, and they get it out of there. And if you still have some of it sticking out of the ground, they can go ahead and take that thing all the way down to the ground. Again, they can grind the stump if necessary. Maybe you just want a limb taken off that's, banging against your window at night when the rain and the wind happen. We're going to get some more of that. Wintertime in Alabama, that's the way that works. So you probably want that limb taken down. And if there is a problem with other parts of the tree or other trees in your yard, Alabama Tree Pros will be happy to tell you about it. They'll look you square in the eye and say, this tree and this tree over here, these guys are going to be trouble before long. You need to keep an eye on those and call us when, you need us to come back and take care of it. They are the tops. I love them, and their prices are low, and their service is exquisite. Just saw Eric yesterday. He's doing great, and his company is top-notch. Alabama Tree Pros, 308-4158, or online at alabamatreepros.com.
Bum, bum.
Bow wow wow. I'm not actually
Bum,
barking
bum.
at you. That's the name of the group, okay? That's the name.
Sounded like you were barking.
Name of the group. If I were barking at you, I'd be like woof woof.
Boom, boom.
That's my bark.
Woof, woof.
Woof woof. It's more realistic in my opinion.
Is it?
It's more onomatopoeia. As opposed to bow wow wow, which doesn't sound.
Bow,
my
wow,
dogs
wow.
don't say bow wow
No,
wow.
they don't.
No,
What do they say?
they say woof woof.
Woof, woof.
Yeah. Also, Dad, it's dinner time. What's taking you so long?
My sweet little Lucy, a mini Australian Shepherd, has started doing this in a new house, and things are a little different. She starts doing this tap dance around 6:30 or 7 o'clock because we eat about 4:30 or 5, somewhere in there. And
Yeah.
then when things get settled, maybe have a couple of minutes in front of the TV, she starts tap dancing in the kitchen on the hardwood floors that she wants this treat bone that I give her that she loves.
The tippy tap.
Oh my! And I'm like, could you stop the tap dancing?
No.
And I'm like,
Give
so
her the
this is
bone.
it. If I don't do it, then
That's
we
right.
just tap dance
There
all
you
night
go.
long. Click,
Yep.
click, click,
Exactly.
click, click, click.
Give it.
That's right. She's got it
I'm
figured
like,
out.
oh, she's so smart.
Yeah.
God, dogs are so smart.
Same line.
Y'all, we're looking at a monitor, and 65 south northbound is an absolute mess. 7-mile backup
7 miles.
from Alabaster all the way beyond the Shelby County Airport.
Yeah, all the way back to that Calera exit with the Walmart.
Oh
Woof.
my heavens!
Woof.
It is construction. It's not a car accident. Construction that they're doing right around the Alabaster exit.
Yeah, they're expanding that road, the 65 right there. They're going to expand that down to the Calera exit. And obviously there's going to be some growing pains while
Yeah,
that's taking place.
And you're saying to yourself, hey, guys, weren't you supposed to wrap that up at around 6 o'clock this morning?
That's what's
Pick
supposed
it back
to
up
happen.
midnight?
Yeah.
But maybe not. Maybe it's, I don't know. But so that's what the problem is for those of you 65 northbound. Got a problem there.
Sorry.
Yep. Big event coming up this weekend, and we absolutely love this. We're going to have Tina Payne on Friday with us to talk a little bit more about the Blue Light Special Art Show. This is a special art show, and there's talk about some Christmas gift ideas. If right now you're struggling with somebody on your list, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, the Blue Light Special Art Show in Leeds is Saturday, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Get there early, folks.
I'm
There's a
struggling
lot to
with
see.
everybody on my list.
Yeah.
So
I think it's gift cards. I think you've nailed it this year.
no, I'm going to this show. I'm
Yeah, well,
telling you
this
right
too.
now. I'll be there Sunday
Do they sell gift cards
afternoon.
at the show?
Not that I know of.
Oh.
But they do have some fabulous pottery, some fantastic works of art, photography. They've got kinetic sculpture. They have got paintings. You name it. Over 50 artists showcasing their best work and some of the what they call discounted seconds. I don't know why they even bother saying that.
Yeah,
I don't see it.
You can't see the imperfection.
Every piece I've ever bought there has been fantastic and beloved by whoever I give it to. And then you can support Empty Bowls, the Hunger Prevention Initiative, $25 donation. Get the hot soup, the bread. This is, of course, soup made by a top-notch chef. Okay, they're not just slapping Campbell's in a pot back there. You get to keep the bowl, by the way, and the proceeds go to the First Light Women's Shelter and the Well House. $2 to get in. Absolutely worth every penny of it, and such a good time. By the way, you're right. Get there early. I'm not going to be able to, but by the time I got there last year, there were a lot of artists that were like, well, we're out. We sold everything, so we're packing up and going home.
I have purchased so many things. This is Earthborn Studios and Cahaba Clay Works Blue Light Special. Beautiful bowls, plates. I have this one bowl that I got that sits on the dining room table. It's absolutely it's an art piece. A lot of these things are like pieces of artwork, and that's
Absolutely.
what it is. And again, you can also there's local restaurants in town. Hot Fish Club is one of them.
Yep.
Great food at that restaurant that uses their pottery in their restaurant. So this is how beautiful these things are, you guys. So don't miss out. It's only this weekend. They do this once a year. It's well worth it. And again, that $25 donation for that hot cup of soup and you keep the bowl goes to First Light Women's Shelter and the Well House. Well worth it. So go see them this weekend. Easy to find. It's near Buc-ee's and the Bass Pro Shop out that way. But it's one of those great places to go to find those Christmas gifts that maybe you're having a hard time with somebody on your list.
It is difficult to imagine that when people hear these stories, you can still find people that are supportive of Hamas and the Palestinian folks. For one thing, we already know Hamas has a bad habit of setting up their headquarters underneath hospitals, daycare centers, things like that. They're saying, oh, well, we don't want to get bombed, but if the Israelis do bomb us, they'll be hitting a hospital and then they'll look bad. And that's the whole goal here, is to make them look bad. We know that the Palestinians and Hamas went down into the tunnels during bombings, Israeli bombings, but they wouldn't let the citizens down in there. They were keeping them up top because they needed as many Palestinian victims as they could get to make it look like, oh, big bad Israel's doing all these terrible things to us. You're like, wow, you're just sacrificing your own people. Nice work. There's a special place in hell for you.
Even the point where the bomb went off near the hospital and they blamed Israel for it, and it was their own.
It was their own.
It was their own rocket.
So now we get this story. Hamas hid tons of baby formula and nutritional shakes meant for kids inside a warehouse to allow Gazans to starve and further its claims of widespread famine to undermine Israel. This, according to a U.S.-based Palestinian activist. He was there. This is Ahmed Faoud al-Haktib, an anti-Hamas activist, accused the terror group of hoarding food meant for infants and young children to purposefully increase starvation in Gaza and damage the public perception of Israel. And we got a picture here of cases and cases and cases and cases and cases of baby formula and kids' nutrition shakes that were just dumped in a warehouse so that Gazans could not get it. Do
we need any more proof that Hamas is a terrorist organization and is not worried about their people, the Palestinians, at all, that it's just about Hamas?
How does anybody defend them?
I don't understand that.
Or even before this, given the information that we have. After that incident you just referenced, where their own rocket went off in the parking lot of a hospital, and we were able to ascertain fairly quickly this wasn't an Israeli bomb. Nobody died, by the way. A bunch of windows got broken. And you reported that 250 people were killed and it was an Israeli bomb and it was terrible. Why would you listen to a single word Hamas said about anything after that? After you found out that they lied about that, why would you ever take their way? And yet here, the AP, CNN, according to Hamas, this is what's going on. Why are you listening to them? They're a bunch of lying liars.
Think about the news source. That's what you guys are relying on now? Hamas to tell you what the story is?
Seriously.
Wow.
They're like taking Comical Ali's. Remember Comical Ali, the guy who was on top of the roof there during the Iraq War? And he was like, no, we are 100. We're managing to drive back the Americans. And you see the Americans coming over the wall even as he's speaking. You're like, oh, dude, this is not going well for you. Maybe find another line of work.